But in the studio with me is John Castore from Semper Home Loans. John, how are we doing today?
Doing great, Mike. Thanks for having me again.
Oh, always a pleasure to have you. So now, got a lot of activity in the real estate market, a lot of selling going on. And if you're a buyer, there are some things out there from either the seller or the lender that can help you with the closing costs of your loan, correct?
Right. That's what I wanted to discuss today, especially because Emilio's team of realtors as well as himself have basically cornered the market on this and are improving the market values overall by offering to their listings and their buyers seller credits. And I wanted to explain to everyone out there these little known things that can be advantageous for everybody involved, including the market. Basically, seller credits are the seller paying for your closing costs if you're a buyer. So I need sellers and buyers to listen up here. If you're dealing with a realtor or a lender that hasn't explained this already and you're already in the searching stage for a home, this can be very advantageous for everyone involved. It speeds up the process. It's less money the buyer has to bring to the table. Yes, it's less money that the seller clears as far as a profit, but it's more attractive to bring in more buyers where they sell the home even faster. So
that makes sense.
On the other side is, well, I'll give you an example. Let's do this example off of a $200,000 loan. The buyer is always responsible for the down payment and the closing costs. So if we're doing an FHA pre-approval, that 3.5% is $7,000 that you have to bring to the table in the way of your own funds and a gift altogether. Or if we're doing a Rhode Island housing loan, you can do it in the way of a second mortgage. It's typically a 15-year with the same interest rate as the first mortgage. So even a $15,000 second mortgage to cover the down payment and the closing costs comes to $107 or so per month, where that takes away from your buying power. That affects your income as well as what you're shelling out monthly as far as ratios are concerned. And on a first-time home buyers, they like to keep that all low because this is your first home. We want to keep the risk low. So if the sellers are willing to credit the closing costs, that's more of a buying power you have, or more you can bring towards the down payment. And that can be very powerful. So if you bring an extra, let's say FHA, you have to bring 3.5% minimum. If you just bring an extra 1.5, bringing it to 5%, that lowers not only your interest rate, in many cases, it lowers your FHA monthly mortgage insurance from 85% to 80%. So again, more buying power. You're increasing the market because the sellers are happy. The sellers have a magic number in their brain. Okay, we're going to list this property for $200, but the least amount we want to clear is $195 before we pay for the realtors involved. Their commission is typically 6 to 7% for the really good ones. So, if you offer them $200,000, exactly what they're listing, I don't see why the sellers wouldn't be, wanting to give you seller credits for up to $5,000. They still clear $195. They don't bring a check to the table. It's just less profit they would make on the property, but it's very advantageous for them. And so the buyers get to either bring more money to the table, easier to qualify. They don't have to source where all this money is coming from because the sellers are paying for it. The sellers cannot credit more than what the closing costs and prepaid items come to. So, again, Emilio's team is amazing at this. Every purchase agreement I see that's fully executed, meaning everyone signed it, the deposit has been made. In the additional provisions, it always says sellers credits of $5,000 towards prepaid items and closing costs. Now, prepaid items, it's worded strangely. It should be worded, what we take up front for escrow accounts, meaning your property taxes and your insurance, as well as average daily interest. Average daily interest is simple to explain. Mortgage companies figure your monthly payment on a daily basis, where we always figure it on a monthly basis. So that's why most of your purchase agreements like to close at the end of the month, so there's less average daily interest. So typically, if you close on the 15th, you're paying 15 days of interest to the mortgage. But if the sellers are paying for that, that's fine. So you can close on any day you'd like, since the sellers are paying for it anyway. As far as lender credits are concerned, this is a little known secret out there that you hear these no-cost programs, or will reimburse your appraisal. Well, the lender absorbs the cost of these items, where if the lender is going to pay for your closing costs, they're going to get it in the interest rate. That closes more deals, where a lot of loan officers forget about lender credits, or they, if they're on the fence, or they don't have the money for the appraisal, which would be pretty sad anyway. But you can either pay for that up front or get it at, reimburse it at the table, so they have some money to take care of whatever they need to do with the house when they finally move in.
So now, if somebody is in the market to sell or even refi, what is the best contact information for them to get in touch with you to find out?
Sure, if you're driving,
don't dial.
Don't
dial. Don't write it down either.
My name is John Castore with Semper Home Loans. My phone number is 401-255-3314. You can search me online, John Castore with an E at the end, Castore. Email me at jcastore@semperhomeloans.com, or you can find me here at theroundtableradio.com.